Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Yhamish Presents. This time, it's actually going to be me interviewing this guy. If you'll go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, with me being Yhamish, and like I said, you guys normally know that this is my show that I run, but because of all the situation and everything else that's going on, we felt that it would be better with my involvement with everything that I end up being the one that's interviewed. So that's what we're going to do tonight. It's going to be a little odd for you guys, but, you know, so forth. By the way, for those of you watching it and on the Facebook Live, you will not get to see what we did on the YouTube. We now have an intro, which is very copyright.
But we do have a disclaimer.
We do have a disclaimer on there, so you guys can go.
And we cited our sources.
So please make sure you go over to the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type Raj and Rich, look it up, and you'll find our live video feed over there. So anyway, Raj, why not? Let's go ahead and roll with a brand new intro.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Let's do this. It ended, and it's dark. No, there you go.
All right, so how'd you guys like the video?
Yes.
Well, apparently Anthony said, man, this got my nips fully erect at the moment.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so if you'll go ahead and introduce yourself fully.
Oh, yeah, let's do what I normally do with people.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so for the Yhamish Presents, and by the way, for those of you watching it on YouTube, sorry for the watermark. I am too cheap to pay $50 for the software, okay, to make the video.
GoFundMe coming soon?
Yeah, GoFundMe. I mean, you know, if anybody wants to go ahead and pay for and send me the activation. Where is the blue box?
It is in my room.
We have a blue box?
It's in my room. The TARDIS.
Oh,
the
yes.
Blue box.
Yeah, well, no, that doesn't... Well, yeah, they kind of had that, but it didn't look like that in the original.
No, it didn't.
No.
No, because it was all gray, black scale.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Yhamish. It is actually Baronet Yhamish McKrotch. Baronet Squire Yhamish McKrotch.
Master Rose.
Master Rose. Okay, which it's up on the wall.
Yeah, it is up on the wall.
I've been playing Amtgard for 21 years. I've been in 7 different kingdoms. I've been the king of one of those kingdoms. That was Crystal Groves. And if you got to see the intro, you actually saw pictures of me when I was king.
Yes.
I was much fatter then, too.
Just a little bit.
Like the belt that I'm wearing right now, because I couldn't find my regular guard belt. Like, I put this on and I made a notch so it get locked in, and then I do the loop around it, and the notch is now, like, this far past.
Oh, man.
So I've shrunk down in size.
Well, there you go.
But, yeah, so I've been, and Dark Sun, you spelled it wrong. But, no, I've been pretty much in office all but 6 months of the 21 years I've been in office.
Interesting.
I think I've had a total of 6 months off.
And this is both at the park and Kingdom level,
yeah.
right?
My first office was Baron of the end of Dragon's Haven, beginning of Xanadu.
Okay.
After I had been in the game for 3 months.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd only been in the game for 3 months and everybody rage quit. And I was the first one to show up with the last person that was rage quitting. And they turned around and told me, said, well, hey, congratulations, you're now Baron.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? I came from the SCA, but I wasn't a leader. I was just a fighter. And then I was like, all of a sudden I was Baron. Let's see. Yep. Effectively 21 years ago, Yhamish's character was born because in the SCA, I was not Yhamish.
Correct.
You know, so...
So you had a background in LARPing besides just Amtgard.
Well, yeah. I started, like I said, I started in the SCA many, many years ago and then moved over. I got tired of the SCA because I was paying all that money and all they wanted to do was bitch and moan and it was complete politics.
Okay.
The day that it was the straw that broke the camel's back was the day that they stopped a tournament because they had a political issue they wanted to resolve, and all the field judges, including the prince who was overseeing the tournament, had to leave.
Oh, wow.
So we couldn't do the tournament. And I said, I just paid $150 to be here, spent 3 hours armoring up, so that way I can't fight.
So $150 to sit and look pretty on the site.
Yeah, and it was a private event. It wasn't a public event.
Oh, wow.
So
of course they can charge that much.
I called it quits right there. There you go. Yeah, it does help, Mike, if you sign in your actual account.
Yeah.
So anyway, but there's a lot of people that are tuning in and they want to hear what I got to say.
Yes.
Concerning this whole issue, because both dumpster fires, I've been involved somehow.
Now there is a question that I am going to ask before we go ahead and get into that.
Yes.
How does it feel to be in the hot seat this go around?
I'm used to it.
Okay.
Okay, you got to remember, I was king of a kingdom that was stolen from me on the day I got the crown.
By the way,
okay,
in case you're wondering, he's talking about the King of the Crystal Grove.
Yeah, no, so it's not anything new. I'm used to, being in the middle of something at some point. Usually, I've been trying to keep my nose clean the last year, but unfortunately, that's not been the case. I've been kind of in the middle of stuff. But I mean, the thing is I come with a lot of experience. So a lot of the, monarchy looks to me for advice on things because I've been in their position. Mm-hmm. And I've been in their position in the best and worst scenarios.
Interesting. Okay, so we know that there is a number of things that are going on inside of a kingdom that you call home still.
Yes, and we still call home.
All right, yes, and we still technically do still call home. Well, you still call home.
Yes.
Okay, so... For those that are currently watching who actually don't understand fully what is happening, can you go ahead and give us a general rundown?
Okay, so we have two big issues going on in the CK right now.
Okay,
two big issues, and they're actually linked.
Really?
They are linked. And a lot of people are thinking, well, that's the old one and this is the new one. No, actually, they're kind of linked. Mm-hmm. And what originally happened was... out of nowhere, an investigation was brought forth about Devil's Bayou.
Okay.
And they were claiming that Devil's Bayou was fixing the numbers. Mm-hmm. That they did not have the credits that they claimed they did. And that numbers were getting inaccurately entered. You were included in that accusations.
Yes.
Okay. And an investigation was done about this. And a third-party independent investigator made a report, gave it to the Kingdom Prime Minister, and that report was the basis behind what they decided to do, which was ban Raban indefinitely, suspend you for a year. Mm-hmm. They gave Rose, and I cannot remember the other person's name.
Rosie and Travjin.
Rosie and who?
Travjin.
I can never pronounce Travjin's name right every time I look at it as Travjin. Anyway... Yeah. A 1-year probation. Okay. And then I believe the park itself was put on some form of a probation as well. Okay. And it was because of this report. Well, when it got brought to my information, it was brought to my information before the penalties came out. I was told in advance that this was going to happen. Okay. And when I was told that it was a third-party private investigator that would not be named and was not willing to be named, my original recommendation was I don't think we should move anywhere with this because if they're not willing, and the monarch himself, Watcher, said he did not know who this was. Okay. I said, if you don't know who the investigative party is, how do you know this is a genuine investigation?
So, if this was all left to the Kingdom Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister was the only one who knew who the investigator was.
Okay.
At that point, as far as we knew.
At that point, okay.
Okay. So, Sunday morning, before it came out, he went ahead and notified me that he was going to make the announcement at noon, which he did. And of course, later on that evening, he came over to the house and we did a big show on Yhamish Presents. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was the second Yhamish Presents? Because the first one was Dark Sun?
Yes.
Okay, and then the second one was Watcher explaining to the kingdom why he did what he did.
Yes.
Okay, and we thought that we had maybe quelled everything. Okay, but there was an underlining theory about where this report came from.
And what was this underlying theory?
The underlying theory was it either had to be somebody that had admin rights to Orc to get the information, or it was somebody that's not exactly neutral that was involved, that had some kind of involvement with the Prime Minister, that was somebody of either current or former high level of the kingdom.
Okay.
Okay, which that narrowed the list down.
Yes.
Okay. By Tuesday, I had figured it out. I narrowed it down. It was Selric.
Okay.
Okay, Selric, what raised the alarm bell was, what raised the alarm bell about this? We just penalized a park and 4 of its members off of an investigation report done by a banned player. Armand banned Selric.
Yes.
Prior to that, because he's currently under investigation.
Yes. And I do remember that because I was the Prime Minister at the time that went ahead and signed off on it, giving...
And when all this hit, you gave the king all the information you had.
Yes.
Grifter gave up information that he had. A lot of people gave up information that they had and contributed to it. Well, like I said, I figured that Selric was the one who did the investigation. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I didn't know about the one that had the admin rights to Megiddo. I did not know that Megiddo was involved somehow. Now, Megiddo didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So, but Megiddo's name came up later.
Yeah, Noah Smith.
But anyhow, now we've got an investigation and a penalization involved with a person who's been banned from the game. So now, myself and Crispin, okay, both of us are aware of this. We have conversated about this. Okay, we got to find out what is his involvement in this.
Yes.
Before we can go anywhere with this.
Absolutely. Okay.
Because I told Crispin I figured it out, and Crispin told me he's figured it out, and we both kind of at the same time on the phone said at an identical time, Selric, and we figured that out. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into how I figured that out because there's people that I know that I've talked to that it's a confidentiality issue.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to name them, but we were able to prove that Selric made the report.
Of course.
Okay. Now, we still had to figure out what his involvement was. How did this come about? When we found out that the Prime Minister knew this and still took it and accepted it, at that point then we're like, we need to notify the monarch to let him know that this report came from a banned player. Well, by the time we got to notify the monarch, you guys had already proven that the report was factually inaccurate. It was an outright lie. And it really was. When you looked at the investigation, it was an outright lie.
Show that there was possibly an extreme bias to it.
Yes. So, so in that situation, they had Watcher had already overturned everything.
Yeah.
Okay, he had already removed the ban, removed the suspension, removed the probations, all of it gone.
Yes.
Okay, so we notified him, but he didn't find out until after the fact. Okay, and I remember the conversation. I'm like, do you know who did this investigation? He's like, well, I've got suspicions, but I don't know for certain.
Yes.
I said, Selric did it. And he's like, you're certain? Absolutely, 100% Selric did the investigation. I said, you just did all this and then had to remove it based off of the words of a banned player.
Yeah, and
which the fact is this, and the fact that the Prime Minister of the kingdom did it and went with it, you now have the Prime Minister of a kingdom that involved a banned player in an investigation accepted the report of an investigation from a banned player, which is a violation of the ROP.
Yes, it is.
Because the ROP states when you're banned or suspended, you cannot have any activity in the function of Amtgard.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And going into an investigation and doing a report on Amtgard activities is technically considered, being involved in an Amtgard function.
That makes you involved in the operation of the organization, which is under the flag of Amtgard, which means you're involved in a function.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a kingdom officer that is now involved in a banned player into an investigation that resulted in penalties.
Yes.
Okay, severe penalties. Not just light run-of-the-mill penalties. And we'll try to keep up with your comments as best as we can.
And no, that does not mean that you get me back, Dark Sun.
Okay, so... Well, that's not entirely true. We'll cover that at the end of the show. Shh. All right, so anyhow...
This is about you, not me.
Yeah, I know. But so anyhow... Okay, so I went to Bubba, and I had a conversation with Bubba. And I'll let everybody know right now that conversation with Bubba.
Okay.
We were about 2 weeks out from Spring War. About 2 weeks. I think it was about 2 weeks out from Spring War. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I notified. When I talked to Bubba about it, I told Bubba, I said, "Here's the deal, bro. Okay. I said you are getting ready to knight somebody who is an officer of this kingdom who openly violated the ROP."
Yes. So therefore, it tarnishes the integrity.
It tarnishes the integrity of the knighthood. And I told him, and my suggestion was, I would wait. I would hold this off until you can do a full, thorough investigation on how much involvement was with her and Celery. How much involvement. Now, I know that people have brought in the whole personal life thing, and you know what? Mundane life doesn't matter.
Correct.
It doesn't count. So the asshats that have been bringing up that in the conversation, that doesn't have any application. It's everything that happens at Amtgard related. Okay, so now, and I suggested this. I said I would hold off. In fact, I would contact the entire circle.
Let them know.
And tell them what's going on. And the concern was that if we do, this is going to go out Amtgard wide and it's going to explode. And I get that. I get the reasoning behind that. And one of the reasons why I didn't go public with this, and nor did Crispin, was because the integrity of the kingdom.
Absolutely, to save face.
Well, and the thing is as soon as you, Grifter, and everybody else gave him the information, he overturned everything, it was done.
Yes. It
was a done issue. But I did suggest to him I would still not go along with the knighting.
Correct.
I would wait to do a thorough investigation. Mm-hmm. Okay. I did make the suggestion that he talk to her knight about it because I felt that she could keep quiet about it, which he did. And it didn't come out, so obviously she did. Okay, without any issues. But, however, she brought that up herself. Well, I get that she brought that information up herself, Mike, but still, I'm not going to even cover or discuss people's personal lives in this. Okay, but they still went ahead and did it anyway.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm friends with Crystal. Okay, I'm friends with Ranjara. I did not make that recommendation lightly because I know for a fact she's earned it. Yeah. She has earned her flame.
Absolutely. Okay? And I've seen it, you've seen it, a lot of people have seen it.
But the problem is this happened prior to her knighting. So now this leaves an asterisk.
Yeah, so now that is, she did something that is unbecoming of a knight. That's essentially what this falls into.
It does and it doesn't, because I've heard both sides of the argument where, well, she wasn't a knight yet. However, my counter argument is she was an officer of the kingdom.
Officer of the kingdom. On top of that, she's also masterhood.
And she has a masterhood. So there's a couple different things. So I'm not. My recommendation was you need to hold off on her knighting until you can do an investigation to find out the complete level of Selric's involvement in his. Did she bring him into it, or did he voluntarily come into it? And then if he voluntarily come into it, how did he know that there was an investigation? How does he know there was reports? And see, that's where the whole rumor floating around of whether or not Crix or Thad had brought up this idea. Okay. And that's still not a proven thing. That's still hearsay. It's still rumor. Yeah. Okay. However, the fact it is a fact that a banned player did the investigation, and that was accepted by the Prime Minister of a kingdom and was used to levy penalties when we found out that report was false. And here's the other reason why it shouldn't have been taken. Let's just take band player off the list.
Yeah.
Let's just eliminate band player. Sellerik hates the Dark Riders. He's made it very obvious. He's said it out in public.
Yes.
Okay. He's had an issue with them.
Yes.
So in order for him to do an investigation and try and say that he was impartial, nobody can be impartial. It would be like me doing an investigation on a group of people I don't like.
Yeah.
I am impartial as shit. I don't care who you are. If you fucked up, you fucked up. If you didn't, you didn't.
Absolutely.
However, I would recuse myself if I knew that there is a long-standing history of obviousness that I don't like that group.
It's only logical.
You know. So that should have been another red flag saying, hey, wait a minute, we shouldn't use his investigation. The reason I asked for an actual punishment accountability for actions that took place during their time in office. Okay. So it broke out today. The whole thing about that broke out.
Yes.
And in a section that we'll get to later, it's because the whole issue with Harley is what caused the whole issue that's going on with Harley is what caused this to break out.
Yes.
Multiple times Crystal was given warnings saying, hey, just let everybody know what's going on. Come out with it, come out with it, come out with it, come out with it. Normally, myself and Crispin do not give people that many chances.
Correct.
You know, once you fuck up and you do it publicly,
that's it.
We're going to give you the one opportunity. You talk about this before we do. And she didn't. And so he got mad because she tried to throw Grifter under the bus. She tried to throw Bubba under the... Well, I don't know if she threw Bubba under the bus. That message was kind of cryptic. Pretty much everybody... She threw anybody and everybody she could, except herself. Then when finally Crispin called her on it and said what he said, then finally she had to start backtracking on stuff, but still then tried, to backtrack it. And... By the way, if anybody's watching a Facebook live feed, I cannot see your comments from this distance.
Correct.
Okay. I can see the comments on there because we blew up the chat room, but I cannot see it on there.
Yeah.
So, Bacon says, was friends, not sure now, with Sellerik and Crystal. I should recuse myself if my knight or even my wife had done this. I have done the same thing. I call it a personality flaw. Okay. So, all right. I commented the link in YouTube in case you shut down the live stream, which I'm going to shut down the live stream. Because I think, because Horace is now over there. By the way, those of you on Facebook, I will not be keeping it on for much longer because the phone will die. So YouTube, Raj and Rich Show, the link is in the Facebook feed. Ben went ahead and put it in there.
Yes. Hello, Horace. It's good seeing you.
It's good seeing you again too, Horace. But anyway, so you had this situation break out, and then, shit hit the fan over this. Okay, well, today I got called by multiple people concerning this whole thing.
Like what, 22 people, right?
22 different phone calls concerning this issue.
Okay.
And there was a couple of people I wasn't even aware they had my phone number.
Well.
But anyway, and they asked me about it because it's known that I knew that I knew about this. And I got asked a lot, why did I keep it quiet? Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing that other people in prominent positions did. I felt that because the bans had been overturned, because the punishments on Devil's Bayou had been overturned, and I did not believe that it would help the kingdom whatsoever if it came out. I did not feel that would be a way to go.
Yeah.
I felt we have enough issues in the kingdom. We don't need any more.
Correct.
But unfortunately, it did break out. And so, of course, I got asked about it. My recommendation on the issue, one of which has already happened, Renjara stepped down. My recommendation at the minimum, because of just this, Renjara should resign from Prime Minister, which he already has. Maximum suggestion on this was I don't believe she should be stripped because she earned all of that.
Correct.
And I don't think this is an integrity issue against service. If she had a crown belt,
then that would be
a totally different situation. But this is not related to that. So I don't believe she should be stripped. But I would recommend a maximum 1-2 year suspension and a complete prohibited from running for kingdom office in the CK. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say park level. Park level officers, they have a little oomph, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say no kingdom office.
It's
whatsoever.
definitely not as
in the CK.
crucial.
Go somewhere else, okay. Wait, Yhamish, I can give you Bacon's number. I think I already have it. So anyway, he was one that didn't call me today, so maybe he doesn't have my number.
He said he doesn't.
Okay, so there you go. But
it's also Bacon's birthday. Happy birthday, Bacon!
All right, so so that was that situation, and I broke down to people, and I told people today what I knew, how I knew it, with the exception of naming names that got me the information that I got a hold of.
Yes.
And I even, got contacted by our soon-to-be, our soon-to-be, well, she doesn't want to be, she's not queen. I call her Empress. Our soon-to-be Dark Empress.
Yes, the Dark Empress.
Yes, about this.
The Dark Empress of tomorrow.
Me and Grifter talked about it on Facebook.
Okay.
Because, and unfortunately he's at work. I don't know if he's able to watch it or not. But there, anyhow, but that was that. Now, how the two situations are linked, okay? Because somebody asked me, is this the old? Horace actually asked me, he goes, this is about the old thing? I thought it was about the new thing. Well, no, actually, they're linked.
Yes. So how exactly is these two instances linked? But you haven't really gone into detail exactly what the new instance was.
Okay, so the new incident was Kingdom Quarrels happened.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a debate on whether or not an entry that Harley had in is considered... Okay, let's try to go down the list of accusations.
Okay. Because apparently there was a long line that...
There's a huge line. Copyright infringement. Mm-hmm. Plagiarism. Tracing an object and not doing its own. Having somebody else do it. Just making a copy of it and claiming it.
Printing it out and sending it in.
Yeah. The list goes on and on and on and on.
So was it that every time that things came out that it wasn't that, it kept changing?
It became a new one.
Okay.
In fact, and I'll name names in this conversation that I had online. Fish changed what the accusation was 4 times. And I'm like, well, if you're the one that did the investigation, why are you not? This is my thought. Mm-hmm. If you're the one that did the investigation, why are you not standing behind what you said, even if you're wrong?
Yeah. You
did the investigation. You think it's because then it became they stood on it being traced.
Yeah.
If you did the investigation and that's what your findings are, why don't you stand behind your findings? Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the integrity of
it. It's because now you keep changing your minds. Like, to me, it tells me your investigation was crap.
Yes.
Okay. If you can't stand behind your own investigation, oh, no. I'm going to get into that in a second, Kill Mill. I'm going to get into that in a second. If you can't stand behind your own investigation, what the hell did you do an investigation for? Well, there was a concerned Amtgarder that filed a complaint about this.
Does this concerned Amtgarder wear a hood?
I don't know. I've never seen her wear a hood.
Or dreads?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Wears purple and black.
Oh, so one of those concerned Amtgarders.
Heather.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So hold on.
Yeah.
So let's draw the link.
Mm-hmm.
Heather. Fish, Heather. They're tied.
Very close knit.
Okay. Let's draw another link. Sir Thadagrin did not qualify.
Okay.
Sir Thadagrin is dating Heather, who Fish is tight with. Fish did the investigation.
Yes.
You could not get almost any more partial than that.
That is completely biased. And honestly, what it sounds like to me, being someone who has no idea what the F is going on.
I wasn't going to go there, Kyle.
Yeah. What the F is going on with this, it sounds like because Thad did not qualify for Regent.
They took it as a personal attack and tried to eliminate the other person who did.
That's what it sounds like. And it sounds like it's a witch hunt.
Hold on. Because it gets better.
Oh, really?
But wait a minute. Their report and investigation is what was accepted again by the Prime Minister in the investigation, and the Prime Minister was attempting to get not only her removed from arts and science, but her actually suspended.
Okay, so somebody did ask.
Grifter was, and I want to say right now, Grifter was completely and totally against it, okay, and fought hard to stop it. And the best he could get out of it was 1 year ANS suspension. Because Watcher himself even told me he was told by Crown Knights that he talked to that she should be suspended. I don't know who these Crown Knights are. Okay. Now, another person that's not made this situation any better, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here too. Weasel's been going around telling everybody that nothing should happen to Ranjar. In fact, she should get an award because who gives a fuck what anybody does to get rid of her bond? Is basically what he's been saying. Now, unfortunately, I cannot 100% verify this because for some reason Weasel blocked me. So I can't read his reports. I'm only going off of what people told me has been said. I don't know if this is accurate. Anybody can back that up. So anyhow, okay. The reason why this is not unknown, or there's a pattern of this. Supposedly, now this information was not really known by anybody.
Now, before we go ahead and continue, I think we should go ahead and cut the Facebook off.
I think we should cut the Facebook off.
And if you want to go ahead and catch the juiciness,
yes, because it gets better. If you go to youtube.com and type in Raj and Rich.
It's in the it's in the comments.
All right, so we'll see you. Good night on Facebook Live. All right, so you got to go to YouTube. You got to check out the rest of this because it gets better. All right. Aurora's a Crown Knight, and one of them who is Heather and Ranjar's Knight. Okay, yeah, make sure we stop that because we don't want to hear the video all over again. Okay, so anyway. Now, I'm not trying to make a laughing subject of this, okay, but we are trying to get people to go off the Facebook to come over to here. Okay, so you ready to go? More information came out during all of this. Even information I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because evidently it was kept secret for some reason. Okay. Supposedly, when you rent it...
I don't know how to...
No, it's mine. This thing...
Phones are stupid.
It's not... It does this on a regular basis. When I try to post a video.
Okay.
Okay, post your video replay. Yes, keep your video on... Keep your video in your story for 24 hours. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool.
Well, I haven't seen first, and then...
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties with the
phone. My phone is dumb, and it quits, and it decides to randomly quit working. Okay, so, all right, so here we are.
All right, so as far as I know, Ranjara's Knight is Aurora.
Yes.
Yeah, and so is Heather's.
Yes.
And as far as I know, somebody had actually asked if Ranjara doing this, if she had a personal agenda with this.
Without getting Ranjar to say it, the only thing I can tell you on that is the fact that that is speculation.
Okay.
I will not say that is fact because there's nothing that has been specifically said to that effect. The common person could draw that link. Okay, because there's more to the story. Okay, there's more to the story. But this was before Ranjar was even Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Okay. You ran an arts and science competition at Slaughter Creek.
I did while I was regent. While Fish was Baron.
Yes.
Bacon was also Seneschal.
Okay, so Fish's name again.
Fish's name again.
Okay. All right. There was supposedly a piece that hardly entered that somebody questioned.
Multiple pieces.
Okay, multiple pieces, but it was fan art.
And it was Fish that questioned him.
Okay, so Fish's name again.
Yes.
Okay. You were running the competition. What was the decision of the competition?
We didn't find anything wrong. We took Fish's statement into account, but we couldn't find anything.
Correction, Aurora is Ranjar's Grand Knight.
Yeah. Kin's night. That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay. So we took Fish's statement into account, but myself and the rest of the judges...
By the way, Mike, you misspelled memes. It's M-E-M-E.
Yeah. But myself and the rest of the judges, we realized, hey, there really isn't anything to go off of besides what's been said.
Now, in those write-ups, did Harley state that it came from somewhere else?
Harley said that she got, She got inspiration from these pieces that she had seen, and she free drew them.
Yes, and this last time around, she had not only, there's video, but there was people who watched her do it.
Yeah, and that was actually due to, because I remember myself and a couple of the judges said, hey...
Bacon said also inspiration from pieces seen on Pinterest.
Yes. So with
Pinterest is a bitch.
So with this, we actually said,
it's addictive.
In your write-up, because I think this is like maybe her third or something A&S competition, because Jill was like, hey, go ahead and start putting in, because she had just, really started getting into it. We're like, hey, go ahead and cite your sources. If you can, provide proof of you actually doing these things, taking steps, and so on and so forth. And even Jill talked to her about it, too. And I guess that's exactly what she did, coming on to Qualts.
Bacon even clarifies the paper was thicker than cardstock, so there was no way to trace through that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So you guys determine it's fan art. It's inspirational.
Yes.
But there's no theft involved.
No theft.
Okay.
There was no theft, no plagiarism, no copying.
So
nothing.
that was the end of Fish's whole deal with that, right? As far as you knew, that was the end of it, right?
That was the end of it. And
supposedly today, it was put out that they suspended Harley for 6 months, or they were deciding to suspend Harley for 6 months for cheating in the arts and science competition at Slaughter Creek.
So with that, I really have no idea as to that. Because after that A&S competition that I hosted as regent of Slaughter Creek, I think it was like another month and a half.
You're right, Blake. Gecko was it was Crystal's night.
Yeah. So, and
sorry to Gecko out there if you're listening.
So Bacon,
I didn't mean to forget about you.
So Bacon can even comment on this because it was about a month and a half after the competition that I was suspended from Slaughter Creek.
Yeah, you were suspended because supposedly you were harassing or threatening Heather, even though you were singing a song to Rose, which, another name that comes up again, we've named Heather again, Selric determined that there was no wrongdoing, however he wasn't going to overturn a park because he didn't want to micromanage a park.
Correct.
Even though you were Dark Rider.
And it moved my suspension.
Which we have established that Selric had an issue with Dark Riders.
And I was suspended 2 weeks prior to Slaughter Creek's mid-reign, which I was removed as regent, suspended, and Thad was brought up as the park regent in my stead.
Okay, so wait a minute, hold on. We got Thad, we got Heather, we got Fish, and we got Selric in a story again.
Yes. So I brought...
It seems to be a common denominator.
So I brought my park suspension up to Kingdom, as I'm allowed to do, as a member of the populace, because I felt that my suspension was in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So he did an investigation, talked to multiple people, and they said, no, this is what he actually did. It was not this. So Selric met with me at a Whataburger in Kyle and said, look, I went through everything, and it has been shown that you have done absolutely nothing.
Allegedly about what?
Oh, me?
No. Joe Johnson, Barrett, has said that allegedly. I want to know what allegedly about.
Yeah. So, Selric said it was found that you did not do what you were accused of.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the way it's going to happen.
Just trolling all the crap. Okay, gotcha.
That, him as a monarch, he is not going to micromanage his parks, but he talked to the park officer, which was Fish, and Fish decided that she was going to move my suspension from a 6-month suspension to the 3 months.
Which is the end of her reign.
The end of her reign. So that way she didn't have to deal with me, and those were the words that he stated.
Okay, so what we have is now 2 situations involving Fish where penalties came out.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 situations that have Heather involved.
Yes.
One situation, it definitely has Thad involved.
Mm-hmm.
The other situation, Thad was a result of not qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
Selric involved in the previous situation where Harley was supposedly suspended. Now, here's the funny thing about this, right? It came out that supposedly Harley was either suspended from ANS or suspended from the park. There is nothing in Slaughter Creek where any of this is posted. This just came out after Thad failed to qualify, and when when Harley got suspended from her whole being able to run ANS or be in ANS for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, competitions.
Yes.
So suddenly out of nowhere, it just showed up. There was no issue, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, hey, look, well, we suspended her, or we're going to suspend her for cheating before.
So
why the hell, if this is my problem, why the hell was this information not brought to light during quals before elections happened?
as far as I know, if a suspension or ban or any type of thing that has to do with any involvement of a player from any activity within Amtgard, it has to be publicly posted. As far as I know, it's in the rules.
Well, it has to be publicly posted to notify that individual. It doesn't have to say why, but it's just disciplinary action has been taken against an individual for this amount of time.
Exactly. So that way, everybody's in the
Kingdom
know.
has to be notified.
Absolutely. So,
nobody in Kingdom knows about it.
That's very interesting.
So the Kingdom didn't know about it. Okay, myself being one of the eyes and ears, knew nothing about it. In fact, it was brought to my attention today. Okay, another person whose eyes and ears are around here didn't know anything about it. It wasn't until people were trying to defend on what they were doing against who they were doing it against, but there's no information about it.
So is this supposed to be like some kind of double secret probation like you find in Animal House?
I'm not sure, because it just seems real funny that it comes out, and the problem was the planning. To release it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a situation, and the problem is more and more I dig into this, the more and more I've learned that those three have run people off when things don't go certain people's ways. Now, that's purely an opinion, but that is just after sifting through this.
Right.
I don't even know until it was decided something was already going to happen.
So, the Monarch said, Rex, I said before Thad had not called, Heather was already investigating the artwork.
Okay, I get that. Okay, before Heather had not called, or before Thad had not called, Heather was already investigating the artwork. Okay, I got that. The investigation didn't start after the not called. It was an issue that was going on during quals. Mm-hmm. Okay, but one of the problems that that people in the Kingdom has, why are we finding out about all this shit going on after
the fact,
after the elections opened up? And and the thing is, was Heather a judge? Was she?
I don't know. Was she a judge at
Bacon,
Quals?
was Heather a judge at Quals? Ask Grifter, I don't believe she was. Okay, well, Grifter's not on here. So,
but Bacon was one of the judges and can say whether or not Heather was a judge.
Yeah, Bacon's in the chat room.
Yes, Bacon is in the chat room.
And Bacon's not responding.
He's probably typing at the moment.
He's probably coming up with something.
Well, then again, no.
No, Bacon.
Bacon, Isadora, and Nesta were the judges.
Yes. Well, I know Isadora and Nesta was Bacon. So there was only 3. Okay, cool. All right. So there you go. I'm eating. No, Heather was not a judge. However, one of the judges questioned the work. So why was Heather involved in investigating a piece of artwork against a competitor of her boyfriend? Okay, first of all, that any investigation that Heather or Fish did concerning that artwork should have been thrown out.
Yes.
Completely thrown out.
Because it shows complete bias.
Well, and because there's already a show of those two working hand in hand. There's already a bias showing that Fish does whatever Heather wants. And when I say they're tight, I mean literally they're tighter than a duck's ass in water. Nothing's getting through.
Well, I think the only time that fish can come out for air is when the boot gets wedged out of Heather's ass.
Okay. So, and that's the situation that we're at. Is an investigation, again, was taken by biased people, accepted by the Prime Minister of the Kingdom, and penalties came down because of it.
Where's your bell? Shame.
Well, and you know
Shame.
what? Okay, but and that's exactly where we're at on this. Is again, the Kingdom acted upon biased investigation.
Yes.
Okay. Now I've stated for the fact because even somebody even said, oh, you know, the overlay photo.
Yes.
Okay, and Kill Mill brought it up. She manipulated, you know. Blake is asking, try to calm down on the ass hattery. Okay. I even asked you this before.
Yes, I do apologize.
So, all right, so we'd apologize for being a little unprofessional. Okay, but she admitted she altered an image in order to line them up.
Yes.
Okay, now I get, and let me explain because Bubba's going to go off because we had this conversation. Mm-hmm. Yes, in some situations, in criminal cases, courts will allow an altered image to overlay an original image to prove something. Uh-huh. Okay. Sometimes they will even allow those in civil lawsuits. However, they are going to lean heavily. They're going to lean extremely heavy on looking at the original overlaid without any alterations. Mm-hmm. And when you look at if you look at her photo in the size it's in versus the original, you can definitely see changes in things, differences. When you shrink hers down, a lot of those changes and minute details that are altered go away.
It gets muddled.
It gets muddled. And when you overlay the two, you really can't. And the bad part is here's another issue that you have, because I know this from video photography classes. The human brain begins to matrix. When you take two images that are eerily similar and the brain can't immediately distinguish, it will immediately tell you inside that they're exactly the same.
Yeah. But of course, every artist has their own art style.
Margot here, the real problem is the lack of due diligence and poorly guided kingdom officers and the incredibly quick turnaround between accusations, investigations, and punishments. You're right. Margot, you're absolutely correct. This is a situation where things were jumped and nobody looked into the people doing the investigation. Same situation happened with the Devil's Bayou incident. Nothing should have been done until the people doing the investigation. What was the time frame on each investigation? Well, let's see. Devil's Bayou. I don't know how long that investigation was going on. That I cannot tell you because Selrick is, Selrick won't say anything. Won't say anything about it, except what I expect him to say. Well, I got to go. I'll watch the rest of the video tomorrow night. Good night, Bill. Okay.
Good night now.
Nobody's gotten the truth out of that situation other than what myself, Crispin, and a couple other people have dug up. Uh-huh. Okay, which we know for a fact what was involved. Okay. So I can't tell you that. I know that technically the investigation started at Qualls, based off of what was said in there, and what it was posted. 5 days later? It was 5-6 days later. The final punishment. I don't know. Bubba's Rex is in the chat room. Yeah. He can answer.
So Ben asks, better yet, Rush, how long did the investigation you were a part of take?
That's the one I was just saying. We have no idea how long that investigation actually went on.
I have no idea.
Mike said it was posted Monday. Monday after Qualls or the week after? Because I think it was the week after that she was punished for a year for ANS.
I don't know because I'm not on the
You're not on the Kingdom page.
In fact, I have not been...
a week after. Okay, thank you, Mike. So It took 7 days.
So as a Kingdom official. Okay, so what Ben is asking me is how long did it take for me to do investigations while I was in Kingdom office?
Oh, he's asking how long. So when you were presented with an investigation.
So when I was presented...
Okay, let's just go ahead and... The big one... Because you were Prime Minister when the Selrick issue happened during Armand's reign.
Yes.
How long did you guys work on that before you finally came to a decision?
So initially, when we were presented the findings, it took us round about 3 days of nonstop deliberation.
Okay.
Like literally, it was about 8 to 10 hours a day talking between myself.
Hi.
Yeah, so it was talking between myself, Armand, Sponge, and Raban.
Okay.
Because Raban was the BOD president at the time.
Yes.
Sponge, AI BOD president.
Now, we do understand that was extremely clarified that he was not acting as a member of the AIBOD. He was only acting as just advice.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Okay, we do not want to involve the AIBOD
No.
in any of this shit.
No, we had talked to Sponge as AIBOD president because this is something that had to do with...
You're absolutely right. I'm the same way, Blake. Cop mentality. This was way too fast.
So, we involved Sponge as an advisor because he knows, the go around for everything and ask for his advice.
And he has way shit tons of experience.
Exactly. And then, of
Great
course...
person to involve to get just advice.
Yeah, and then myself and Armand, because Armand was the monarch at the time and I was the kingdom prime minister.
Yes.
So it took us 3 days of 8 to 10 hours each day. So we're looking at close to about 30 hours, almost nonstop, of us going through everything that was presented to us and constantly deliberating
on exactly how to proceed.
On how to proceed. And initially what we said was, okay, because this is going on, because this is an ongoing investigation, because we were told, okay, so mundane was involved.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, so to go ahead and protect the NPO and the kingdom and Amtgard in itself, because this is a mundane issue that's going on, we're going to temporarily suspend indefinitely.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, an indefinite suspension means the suspension runs until we end it.
Exactly.
There's no time frame.
Yeah. So it's
I want to make sure that one of the things that you guys know about me is I hate when the words banned and suspended are used as the same damn thing when they're not.
And then so we said initially an indefinite suspension pending mundane investigation.
Yes.
And we left it at that.
Yes. And I remember when that came out.
Yeah. And then, we turned on commenting so that way nobody can go ahead and try and muddle, blah, blah, blah. Then it was...
And then another thread was started by somebody else.
Yeah. And then a week later, we got more stuff that came in for our investigation.
It was Sonny that gave you guys more information, correct?
Yes. Yeah. It was Sonny that gave us more information. And after everything that we saw, myself and Ramon and Raban and Sponge, we looked at everything. We read all 128 screenshots.
Yes, which I have found out that they were altered.
Yeah.
What you got were altered.
Yeah, which we didn't know at the time.
Yes.
We took it at face value.
I didn't find out until...
after the fact.
Like 2 days before you guys found out they were altered.
Yeah. So...
I think I was ahead of you guys by 48 hours.
Yeah. So on that's when myself and Armand, upon speaking with the BOD president, with the CK BOD president and the AIBOD president, we figured, hey, it's probably best if we just go ahead.
So at this point, did you talk to Sponge in that capacity, or was he still not an advisory only?
Advisory only.
Okay, so don't use the AIBOD name again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
make sure that stops where.
Yeah. So we're talking
Sponge.
Sir Sponge
as an advisory.
Yes.
As a member of Amtgard that has a shit ton of experience.
Exactly. So we talked to Sponge as a member who has a shit ton of experience.
Yes.
And we agreed that we were going to go ahead and move it to an indefinite ban.
Yes, a ban is indefinite by nature of itself.
So we permanently banned him.
Banned is permanent until it is removed by an entity. It goes on forever.
Yeah, absolutely. But we also stated that if something were to come up,
you left a window open that if all of it was dropped and it was no longer a thing anymore,
exactly,
it could be
removed. If he was proven innocent, then we would go ahead and remove it.
Okay. Yes.
So that's what we put, and that all around took us about close to altogether from the beginning of the investigation to the end to the actual banning took us around about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
I was going to say I think it took 14. It took 16 days.
Just about.
It took 16 days.
Yeah.
So a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah. Which I will say that...
But there was a hell of a lot of hours involved in this.
A lot. And, like, literally, when they say that a kingdom position is a full-time job, it really is a full-time job.
Oh, don't worry. I've been king. Trust me. The phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So
you want to ban people. Ban. Not suspend. Ban people for calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning going, well, so-and-so at Park said this. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So, I will say this, and this is something that really peeved me, because it was actually, it was Armand's end reign. Yeah, it was Armand's end reign. No. Mid-reign. Armand's mid-reign.
The one I ran.
Yeah, which is the one that I was stepping down from.
Yes.
That's when we went ahead and put the ban up.
Yes.
And I remember Crystal actually sent Armand a message that stated, I know that the only reason why that you did that is because you know that when I step up as PM, I will never go for it because of my relationship with Selric.
She actually sent that?
She sent that to Armand.
Wow. Okay, so that's interesting.
Yes.
So in the past almost year, okay, short by 3 months, there's been an ongoing thing concerning this issue.
Correct.
And then we move on to this with the situation with Harley, where once again, like I said, biased information was accepted as fact.
Yes.
Without any further review of that.
Correct.
So, I mean, and that's where we're at. And that's what's happened in this whole situation, is you have 2 different incidents. Well, actually 3, technically, but one was way back when.
Way back.
And it only got brought to light because people were trying to justify themselves.
Yes.
That, you know, we've got the same 4 characters involved in round and round and round, one of which ties everything together.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Renjar did resign from the Prime Minister position. I don't know if a replacement has already been nominated or not.
Yeah. But honestly, you know, with her stepping down, I actually do respect that.
And I respect that, and if that's the case and the populace is cool with it, we don't need to go any further than that.
Yes.
We can leave it at that and be done with it.
Absolutely.
You know, but I will say that a post got put up, and I'll read the I don't know if you all caught the post, but an individual on the page, wait a minute, I got messages. On a side note, questioned item at ANS, item under investigation or not due to personal attack included should have been taken out of ANS without publicly cutting down the person or telling the person if proven and taken care of later. That came from Curtis. I'm trying to remember who Curtis is. I've got so many people on my face. When you guys send me messages on Facebook instead of sending it in the chat room on YouTube. Oh, okay, I know exactly who that is. Never mind. He's perfectly. I get it. And he's still watching. That's Sir Bagheera.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah, it's before your time. Sorry.
Oh no, it's Baggy. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Baggy.
Baggy.
I know the name Baggy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's Baggy. Anyway, and you know, but anyhow, if you send me a message on Facebook, I may not see it up there. But Baggy, I'm watching the phone now, so if you want to respond to anything I say, but you know, I get you. Oh, now I'm getting another message. No, and you know what? I'm going to get to that, actually, Natasha, because Natasha's not responding on there, and I understand why. So let me go ahead and cover that. Wait, so the Selric ban was unwarranted. Then you said documents were submitted that had been altered. Okay, so the information that came from Sonny, which is the information y'all got, which you then banned him. Okay, Sonny altered the screen, the message line. Okay, same thing that happened to me when I got brought up under investigation. The individual that filed a report against me eliminated parts of that conversation to make it look like it was one-sided. There is information on the stuff that was submitted from her And by the way, Baggy, Baggy out there, I honestly, totally had forgotten because I've never called you by your regular name. That's why. When it said Curtis, I'm like, who the fuck is Curtis? Then you're like, this, and as soon as I saw your last name, then I'm like, oh, now I know exactly it is. I'm like, okay, now I know. So anyhow, okay, so to cover this situation, okay, about the biased information, okay, yes. Yeah, Sunny altered the information. It was proven that she altered it. Here's the funny part. You know where it was proven that she had altered that information? The original Unmod page. When she went on there blasting everything and kept posting up the link from the sheriff's department.
Really?
Yeah, it was proven in Unmod that she had altered it. Because the counter proof to what had happened was actually up there, but now that page is gone, so that's it. Hey, now, most people don't realize my real name isn't Javier. Okay, well, there you go. So, anyhow, so that's what they went off of because they were not given accurate information. The problem is this kingdom has a history of jumping on information without it being 100% completely vetted.
Yes.
Mainly because they don't take the information as is reported and then go find a legitimate outside source to thoroughly vet it. I did that. I got in so much trouble when I was king of Crystal Groves because we had an incident. No, I don't believe that his ban originally was unjust or was justified. I felt that it should have been left at an indefinite suspension until the investigation by the mundane authorities. However, we'll tell you now, because regardless of how we feel about it, he was a banned player that involved himself in an investigation of the function of Amtgard. I'm going to tell you right now, I hope he never gets reinstated. He openly and knowingly violated the ROP.
Yes.
And I can tell you right now that if we say, oh, well, we're not going to count that, so he can get to come back later, fine, reinstate Skywise. Reinstate Sir Skywise then. Because that was the basis behind increasing the level of his punishment. I do understand the whole threatening with Diston and his daughter.
Yes.
I get that. However, the initial argument about him not even being able to be there in the first place was because of the ROP.
Yes.
And they utilized that.
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, if we're going to say that Selric still could come back later, then, see what I mean? I mean, we eliminate, unfortunately, if we're going to say the ROP doesn't even matter, because that's what it would be.
Apparently.
A lot of shit that we've kicked people out for ROP violations, we need to let them all back in because we just set the precedent, and we're going to set the precedence that the ROP doesn't fucking matter.
But now, with Selric, jumping in onto this, the way that he did, wouldn't that be considered a COC 6?
For what, him openly violating the ROP?
Yes.
Yeah, but it could be. But the thing is he did it during a penalty.
Yes.
So now we can remove the stipulation a ban can be removed in the kingdom.
Yes.
That he is now listed as banned. You literally just said what I was typing. As far as Selric goes, the situation is a bit too far out of hand to say whether or not anything will be done. No, what I'm saying is, Kill Mill, is the fact that Selric did involve himself in an investigation with... Okay, let's not get into free everybody, because if somebody puts up free Calalibus, I'm just going to lose my mind. Don't. Because he cheated. They proved
no. I was thinking of your comment, too, when I said that you made the chicken.
Oh, yeah. Well, I said, but the thing is, but free Pirate, nobody kicked Pirate out. He's still in. Free Sluffabus. Oh, great. Thanks.
I didn't do it.
But the situation is, okay, I get you, Kill Mill, what you're saying, but the problem is he, as a banned player, suspended, whatever, he was still, if we remove ban and say he just indefinitely suspended, okay, for the investigation, he's banned, and at this point he's not under Amtgard rules, just mundane laws. Not true. He is a person who has been removed from the game who was an active member. He involved himself in more stuff involving the game.
Correct.
Therefore, is a violation of the ROP.
And there is no free Fister. Fister is dead.
So he did. So that's what happened. Leave him out. No, I'm saying in an expense free Tibet. I knew that was coming. I'm just saying as an example, Fred. I'm just saying that as an example. If we're going to throw out all, if we're going to throw the ROP out the window, then that was just the first example I could come up with. Okay.
Yes.
But no, I hope he never gets reinstated now.
And that is a very hard thing for you to say because he is connected with the Saracens. Am I correct?
He's connected with the Saracen Fighting Company. He is he was a friend. I stood behind him wholeheartedly through. I'm still that person that I won't believe that shit until if a jury finds him guilty.
Yes.
I will still be on his side on that. However, because of where I'm at this point, I am still in a situation because I will not agree that he's done these things until he's found guilty in a court of law.
Yes.
However, concerning this issue, I'm sorry, but he never needs to be reinstated in the game of Amtgard. Being a person he is, with the experience he is, and the levels that he is, and the fact of where he's been in office, he knows damn well what the ROP is.
Yeah.
And he knew damn well involving himself in it. That's why he wanted to remain as the anonymous party. One, nobody would buy his investigation. Two, because he's a banned player and he involved himself in a function of Amtgard in an investigation. He's currently under a ban. Therefore, he involved himself. He openly violated the ROP.
Yes.
That's why he was going to remain anonymous. Okay? I have had Selric in my house and consider him a friend, but with the interaction in this investigation, willful disregard for the ROP. Not to mention the fact he also threatened somebody here recently. Not going to go into it because it's up to the individual that it happened with if he wants that to be public.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and not cover
So we're not, I'm just going to say that there's also more shit that went on. Okay? So we have people that have, and so now we have other individuals who falsely reported complaints. Okay? Bubba was given, this is where I'm going to defend our king. Okay? This is where I'm going to defend our king. If he's convicted, he won't need a ban. He will be a registered sex offender and can't go to any place where children congregate or being with. Yes, that's correct. But like I said, I don't believe he did it until a jury finds him guilty.
Yes.
I will stand behind him 100% until otherwise proven. You can't change my opinion on that. I'm sorry. Okay, so where was I?
How all this ties in?
I don't remember where.
Okay. Because you were saying that there was multiple people who gave false complaints.
Okay, I'm to defend the king.
Okay.
I'm going to defend the king, and I'm probably not going to get well liked for this.
Okay.
Okay, and I agree with Natasha completely. Bubba was fed false information. Mm-hmm. He was fed it by people that he thought were reliable.
Yes.
He was given this information and went with this information because he believed that these people were reliable and not acting with malcontent.
He trusted them.
Okay, and so he acted upon it. Mm-hmm. Given a situation, if I was a little more naive to the position of monarch, I may have in the beginning accepted this shit too, and eventually had to go back.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm going to defend the king. I'm going to. Because he acted off of information of people that he thought he could believe. However, we have found out that they've lied. They falsified information with an agenda. If you can't believe your own prime minister in your kingdom,
who can you believe?
Who the hell are you going to believe in your officer corps? Nothing against Grifter. I believe Grifter. So, he did get information from people that he should be able to trust.
Yes.
And outright lie. Outright falsified information. And look at the dumpster fires. Not even a dumpster fire anymore. I agree with Bacon's meme that he put on that one page.
Yeah.
Here's a view of the CK from what? From the EH?
Yes.
I think
from Golden Plains.
From Golden Plains. And it's an atomic bomb. Yes, Blake, you're correct, and I agree with you on that. I think he acted too quickly. And yes, he becomes responsible for that because guess what? Ultimately, you are responsible for what goes on in your kingdom because guess what? You're the monarch. You're at the top. Everything floats to the top.
Yes, and it even states in the ROP that a suspension or a ban cannot be done unless it is with joint agreement of the monarch and either the Kingdom Prime Minister or the Guildmaster Reeves.
Yes.
So nothing can happen without the monarch.
And yes, and Bubba knows that I told him I thought he jumped too fast.
Yes.
That I thought he was out of bounds. But I will say that given how he got the information, people were pushing him to push their own agendas.
Correct.
Okay? They were pushing him. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Yes. So I believe that is something else that came up, right?
Yeah, but the problem is on that one, Baggy, the PM, we found out, was the one taking this information and feeding it to him.
Yeah. And Baggy, if you can go ahead and refrain from messaging.
He forgot what his login credentials were for YouTube to even get in there.
Okay,
I told him I would pay attention to that when my screen started popping up.
Understandable.
But I've been tagged in a post.
Uh-oh. It was not me.
No, I don't know who it was though, but I got tagged and we need to find out. Okay. No, you're fine, Baggy. I'm watching this, and every time my phone starts blinking, it's either a message or somebody's. So, Bear. That I believe that is my buddy Chris from the California side over there in the
over in West March.
West March, yes.
Okay.
Semi-pro wrestler. You know, I don't know if he still is or not, but we were supposed to do an international thing and be bad guys, and
that's awesome.
I had to move.
Aww.
It sucks. But anyhow,
all right, so getting back on topic.
Yeah, get back on track. Put the train back on the railroad track.
The unban of Raban happened so fast the whole kingdom got whiplash. The Harley fiasco barely seems to have involved Bubba, other than the official announcement post.
Well, yeah, pretty much the whole investigation was done without him, and then they just dumped it and said, "Here you go. This is what we want."
Yeah. And I remember because the banning and unbanning of Raban also involved me.
Yeah, and it was quick. It was quick. I was, like I said, I knew about it well in advance.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is that when it came down the line, and I was right there next to you, it was actually the Sunday that you did Yhamish Presents.
Yep.
Initially what happened was I got notification that I had been suspended.
Yeah, for 1 year.
For 1 year. And I was like, wait a second. And it said, due to investigation that was blah, 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 blah. I was like, wait a second. If there's an investigation that happens, doesn't the parties that are involved, who are being accused, need to be...
And Bubba was not made aware that nobody involved in that investigation was ever interviewed.
Yeah, nobody interviewed.
Which would have given away who the anonymous person was.
And immediately I was like, okay, so this is what this is for, and I was shown exactly what was posted. I was like, wait a second. I have proof that I didn't do this. And I immediately, working, while the show was going, the first one with Dark Sun and Maniac and Miranda, I was getting all my information and sent it to Bubba right then and there.
Yeah. Let's see. No.
Y'all need more Crusaders in your life. No, thank you.
Nope.
Nope.
King has the biggest target on his back. Heavy is the head that wears a crown.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And the other thing is a lot of people have complained that Bubba has been quiet about this.
Yeah.
The problem is Bubba, I will say this for him mundanely. Bubba has had probably the last couple days at work have been insanely long and shitty.
Yes.
By the time he's getting home, really, the mundane life, I'm sorry folks, does take precedence. He's been going to fucking bed.
And he's
still getting over an infection.
Yes. Ray has said, I can honestly say, I don't think Bubba knowingly made bad calls. I personally have a few messages where he is upset by the decisions he had to make.
Oh, no, and he told me. He told me, too, that he did not make these decisions lightly, but given the information he was given, which we've found out is false, he had to make a move on it. Now, like I said, I told him his move on Harley I thought was wrong.
Yes.
I thought that was wrong. Okay, I really did. The other reason why I know that I'm getting private messages is popping up on the bottom of my computer screen, so then I go back and read it.
JK's the Dolan.
Yes.
Okay, now I know. Yeah, and Pirate also says if he was knowingly a part of foul play, he wouldn't have expressed to his friends that he was upset.
Which
is very true.
According to Sir Baggy, Bubba is doing what he thinks is right. I don't blame him, though he was the final decision. And that's the thing. And that's the thing is when you're given false information and your job is to act upon it.
Yes.
And you're supposed to have a level of trust with the people that you're working with. And if those people violate that trust and make you look like an ass, yeah, unfortunately, he looks like an ass.
Just a little bit.
You know, but other people put him in that situation. And like today, when he talked to me, major Kingdom office, yes.
This is his first time as king.
But he was talking to me today about resigning from office. And I told him I don't think so because here's the deal. Number one, it's just going to inflame the people that already have an agenda concerning this whole issue. Number two, it will mean that this will become an ever-revolving pile of steaming shit for the next 3 weeks until Jill takes office.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay? I said, in all honesty, if they kick you out, they kick you out. But otherwise, I wouldn't drop out. I would hang in there.
Correct.
You know, because, I mean, shit. It's 3 weeks, but somebody did call for, his impeachment. But, given the fact that now everybody is on a straight and narrow on all that is going on and the reality, so instead of feeding into the biased threading that's been going on about shit, you guys now know the facts of the situation. Do we honestly think that it's necessary to impeach the monarch 3 weeks from the end of the reign? I don't believe so.
Yeah. So Bacon said, so because we're asking for accountability, we have an agenda? Did I hear that right? I'm just asking for clarification, not getting riled.
No. And we're not claiming I'm not saying that every single person in the thread. Let me make sure I'm specific because I was a little unclear on that. And you're right. I was a little fucking okay. There are certain people that keep running those threads that want to see certain things happen.
Yes.
And so they keep steering the threads.
Those
not the people that are asking Bubba to respond about things are people that have questions about this. And that's one of the reasons why I agreed to do the show tonight.
Yes.
Was because there's a lot of questions that I know a lot of the information about. And I am trying to help get ahead of this to answer questions that people have. And it's why I'm the one that's being interviewed tonight instead of me interviewing someone else.
Yes.
Because I want to make sure that these answers get answered. Well, and you know what, Ronan, you're right. The monarch still has a job to fact check things before they make rulings. You're correct. And they want to know if they can blame Chris. I don't know if I saw him with his matchstick-looking polearm next to a dumpster.
You can blame
Even though he is the one that broke the piece out of the thread before that brought a lot of this to light.
But if you want somebody to blame, go ahead and blame me.
No. Because you're not in the game. You can't know. Okay.
He's a scapegoat.
And I get that, Ronan, that yes, he still has a job to fact check. Okay. He did ask me prior to him making a ruling about it. I told him I didn't think that he should yet. I think he should there should be more of an investigation into it. Only because by then I started noticing that there was certain evil.
Thank you. Run and blame me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Much love.
There you go. Let's see. According to Sir Baggy says, kings or queens get pushed into the right nows, which is most of them make rash decisions. And you know what? He did. And it happens. I know that I was involved in a situation the day that the weekend that I took my crown. We had a domestic dispute breakout. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I immediately jumped up and started making decisions. I wasn't even king yet.
Oh God,
I wasn't even king yet, and I'm like, kick him off. I want him gone. He's done. He's out. Then I turned around and I was like, you know what? All right, let's stop and let's discuss what the hell is going on. And I did an investigation to find out there was more things going on. And instead of doing a ban on the person, because that's what I was going to do, I did a 1 year suspension on the individual. And I changed it. However, my BOD turned around and overruled me and said, well, you can't do that. And I said, well, yes, I can. And we got into a big-ass pissing match over whose dick was bigger than the other. You know. And unfortunately, that's how that turned out. So, yeah, I mean, I get being involved in that. And my problem was I had a BOD that didn't support me in anything I was doing. And they took control of the kingdom and overdid anything I did. So,
Garrick, that is the worst mistake any monarch can make.
You know, but when it comes to this, you know, this whole situation, I think Bubba was fed false information from people that thought he could trust. He made decisions based off of that. You know, I don't mean to toot my horn on any of this, but given certain circumstances in this, I kind of wished I was asked to do the investigations.
Honestly, I feel that if you were to go ahead and do the investigations, they would actually come out fair, concise, precise, and concrete.
But the thing is you know what? It's neither here nor there. What does impeachment do other than prevent Bubba from getting rewarded for his reign? Well, he's not going to get rewarded for his reign. You know, I don't think...
Take it easy, pirate.
Yeah, oh, see you later, pirate. But I don't think that Bubba's going to get anything out of this reign because because of everything that everybody did, you know, and everything else. It's just been one thing after another. I don't think Bubba did a horrible job because all in all, he never broke the ROP, unlike the last monarch.
Correct.
Who did it more than once.
Yes.
Okay. So at least there's that. You know. You can't say that he broke the RP, not RP, but Corpora. Okay, there was a couple things.
Yeah. So, yes, the previous monarch did break Corpora a number of times. Bubba, so far, as I can tell, has not broken the Corpora. Has actually double-checked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked, and checked with other people to do the checks, double-checks, and triple-checks. And then check his checks, which he double-checked their checks. So... I think he did a pretty good job with that.
I'm pretty sure it just happened. Fuck. Okay, so...
Apparently there's a lot coming through the line right now.
Okay. Alright, so our monarch has just posted. Citizens, you want the truth about everything? Well, here it is. Alright, so all of y'all watching, if you're not reading if you're not reading on the Kingdom page, here you go. You want the truth to know about... In the beginning, I was when I put my intent in for monarch... Because I got tagged in it. Oh, yep, it did happen. Okay, in the beginning, visions of helping this kingdom. After I posed my 10, Harley Greco came to Geek Fest in Colleen and proceeded to tell my wife that at our booth that Jill was going to win the election and she had already secured the Dark Raider vote. Okay, we've already been through this part. She had also stated when Jill gets into office she was going to overturn all unjust bans that her mind had just handed down. Now, this has been denied time and time again, but I am here to tell you the deal was real. I spoke to Raban a few times about Dark Raider vote and knew there was no way I would be able to win the election without the Dark Raider vote, so I wanted to try and make a difference. I would have to play ball. Otherwise, the Dark Raider vote would have went to Jill, and I surely would have lost the election. Okay, first of all, let me stop right there. Let me break that down right there. Everybody said, well, how in the world... can you sit there and whatever and get the Dark Raider vote? It's called fucking politics, people. You do know that an entire group of individuals kind of control the vote. You want to get elected in office. Office is politics. You're going to try and cater to the largest vote population in order to get in the vote. Anybody watch the elections in the United States?
It's usually how it goes.
Ever? That's exactly what they do. You notice where they do their... They do their campaigning at, it's where they have the most probability of winning an election. They don't go to places they're going to fucking lose. It's a waste of money. Okay? So, on that note, you guys... Alright, so... I was offered the same deal Jill was offered, and had already accepted. In exchange for... In exchange for the DR vote, I would hold mid-reign at Devil's Bayou. I accepted the deal at Kingdom Qualls with the help of Sir Weasel, who helped facilitate the talks. Just a week later, I was elected monarch by a margin of one vote.
One
vote. Let's fast forward to mid-reign. Right before mid-reign, received information from Manjari that the records were brought into question by Weasel for Devil's Bayou. So, all right. So, it was Weasel or Crix. It was Thad or Weasel was a rumor. Or Thad or Crix. Weasel was the one who brought the thing to question. I advised her that she needed to investigate the issue, but few people boycotted mid-reign. I boycotted by attending and actually and running the games. Sorry, it's a little side joke. Boycotted mid-reign and the Bayou, but still had a great turnout, good event. Ranjara told me that at mid-reign she was currently talking to Rosie and other hierarchy members about the investigation after mid-reign concluded, which we found out later that nobody talked to anybody.
Correct.
All right, concluded I had gotten home on Sunday evening. Ranjara called me and advised me that she concluded the investigation. It wasn't good. Then she sent me the original investigation. I read it while I was on the phone with her. Also concluded as the information was presented to me, it looked like it was definitely an issue with the Bayou needed to do something, and we need to do something. I asked her if she had verified the information, which she stated yes. I did verify everything. My wife was sitting right there and can attest to this. In no time was I asked to wait until after Spring War, other than that, so we can have any other issues at Spring War with the Dark Raiders. I told Ranjara waiting until after Spring War to do nothing other than cause additional drama. We both decided it would be best to proceed with punishment. Unfortunately, at the time, we did not know that Selric was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Looking back, though, I can see everything clearly now. The song just started playing in my head. So, like I said before, he was not aware that Selric was the person doing the investigation until well after the fact. Okay, so I've already stated this. We came up with a plan we felt was proper punishment, executed the plan. As I'm sure most of the populace saw, I asked Ranjara at this time who the unbiased third party was. Ranjara declined to answer, stating this person wished to remain anonymous. His Highness Grifter took, you'll understand why I refer to that in a minute. Grifter took it upon himself to investigate the matter and provide a rebuttal to the event supposedly taking place. I definitely want to thank Grifter for this. Sir Disson printed out both initial investigation and rebuttal and went to his house, and both went through the documents and found the rebuttal did definitely thoroughly refute the claims. I then advised Ranjara that we needed to overturn the previous rulings. A post was drawn up and put out a Kingdom Facebook page rescinding the bans. I also asked Ranjara again who the third party was. Once again, she claimed that the person was claiming whistleblower protection, which has no... Whistleblower protection is a rule in law. This is a fictitious game.
Yes.
It doesn't apply.
Nope.
If an organization decides that they're going to have a whistleblower program, then they may have it. However, you cannot cite a legal reason to not be notified of who did it.
Correct.
Especially when it comes to penalizing other people. Because there is a confidentiality that happens in office and
Yes.
in the hierarchy. So you can pass along information of who made it. Okay? Just want to make sure that's clear. Okay? Let's see. Where was I drawing up?
Whistleblower protection.
Okay, so the whistleblower protection. At this point, I was suspicious of Selric, but I did not know for sure. The next day, I was speaking to Crispin during his conversation with Yhamish that Selric was the source and of the investigation. Ranjara had admitted it to him. My words exactly to him were, "Are you fucking serious?" Okay, Blake said for federal officials only, or in people in any kind of an organization undergoing a federal investigation.
Yes.
Okay. Immediately I contacted Ranjara. I think at this point I had also notified him about Selric as well, but I think Crispin did beat me to it. Amelia contacted Ranjara and again asked her who the third party was. She claimed whistleblower protection again. Then I advised her that I'm no longer comfortable knighting her at Spring War without knowing who this person was and that I would need to postpone it. Approximately 2 minutes later, I was added to a chat with Selric and Sir Sponge. Selric advised us that he conducted the investigation that was written and provided for documents Ranjara provided to me. I advised Ranjara then that she needed to come clean to the populace and she needed to put everything out there before it gets brought to light. It'd be very bad for both her and myself, which obviously has come to light and definitely is bad. She stated that she knew that she needed to, but didn't know how. Over the next week, I asked her numerous times to come clean about the post, and everyone avowed her involvement involving a band player in it. Crispin also asked her numerous times to come clean about it and responded with it, which was responded to with a threat from Crispin. Told you. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't going to name Crispin because I didn't know if Crispin was willing to let everybody know that he got threatened in all of this. After consulting a few crown knights, I decided the best course of action was to stay silent for the good of the kingdom and hope the situation never came to light. And that's where I said, even I decided not to say anything about it publicly because I thought the betterment of the kingdom was paramount.
Yes.
That its name and so forth, this would not do the kingdom any good whatsoever.
Which is completely understandable and logical.
Okay? Because you have to understand when you're like, a lot of you go like, well, you should have come out with this information. When you're running an organization and your responsibility is the integrity of the organization, which the CK does have an issue with integrity, you do everything you can not to let this shit come out publicly.
Correct.
I'm sorry, but clarity, of situations is not exactly the best course of action. I'm speaking from experience. Never came to light. I was also instructed to carry on with the knighting so as to not raise any suspicions. Okay, I know he doesn't mention me in that, but I was one of the people that did advise him not to do it. This all concluded, and Rajar was knighted at Spring War without incident. Fast forward to Kingdom Qualls, there was an item submitted to Qualls. It was question after Qualls. Heather Diamond submitted information regarding the original piece as well as the copy that Harley had drawn. Rajar, Grifter, and myself investigated the situation. In no time did Rajar mention that Harley had been suspended for 6 months because of previous ANS at Slaughter Creek, where she was disqualified from ANS. Was she disqualified from that ANS?
No.
He ran it. So them telling him that she was disqualified
It's more false information.
is a lie. After everything was posted and things started to blow up, Rajar then starts citing 6-month ban, and that she was told that to the Crown Knights that she had spoken with, and that's why we advised to give more harsh punishment. She also stated she told both Grifter and myself about the 6-month ban. Side note, she was not suspended for 6 months for anything. Her items were removed from the ANS, and she was DQ'd from the competition.
Interesting.
That's not what happened.
No.
Both Grifter and myself went back through the chat, and we're all apart. Nowhere was chat mentioned about any sort of 6-month ban. The only thing that was brought up is that this was a second offense for Harley, and that she had been previously disqualified from ANS when it came to conclusion to remove the item in question. We give her a 1-year suspension from entering ANS. We decided in middle ground, and the punishment is not to give a severe punishment, to give something that can be learned from. This brings up today. At this time, I'm done with all the back biting, and all the political bullshit. So there's my last ask, monarch. You wanted transparency, you wanted the truth, so here it is in all its ugly splendor. In the words of Sir Sable Malorius, I am staying at my own damn park. In service, Lord Watcher. He has dropped the king off of there, and he said, all hail King Grifter. So as of currently, based off the monarch of the CK has now resigned. Grifter is now, by Kapoor, Grifter is now the current monarch of the CK. Like one thing tonight brought out about pushing Circle to bad decisions, which makes me which to me looks like a watch list on who to trust. When I won King, I went out a year before selling myself. Okay. So you've heard it here. Sorry, Bacon. Specific
Pro-tem
words.
monarch.
Grifter is now the pro-tem king of the CK. Currently. This is unfortunate.
There was only 3 weeks.
3 weeks to go, and this is what happened. And it's because... so here I go with my personal... Now we're going to get to my personal opinion on all this shit. Okay? I don't have the title of father. I don't. I've been called dad. I've been called the dad of Amtgard.
I call you daddy sometimes.
Oh, let's not. Okay, I'm being serious. After we've had this discussion and we've been talking for an hour and a half, we have come to the conclusion that multiple people knowingly falsified information to the king to act on. One of which was an officer of this kingdom, who is now resigned. 3 weeks to go in the reign. 3. He's now resigned. So, people got what they asked for. Okay? Not everybody that's in this chat, and I'm not accusing every single person in this kingdom for wanting this, but certain individuals, and those individuals know who they are, and I hope they're fucking happy, and I hope they're dancing in the streets, that they've caused the complete destruction of an individual who had the balls to run this kingdom after what Armand had done. Anybody who stepped up to try and run this joint after that has testicles. And yes, women, they could be here. So we could say it has the tits to do it. Okay? And y'all finally caused him to have to quit. 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks. I hope the individuals that fed all this falsified information are listening to me when I say, I hope you're fucking happy. Okay? So do the Monarch PM BOD seats stay empty for a reign?
No.
No. Unfortunately, the president of the BOD will have to immediately
put in the...
resolve this situation as well.
No, this is the reason why that they have...
They have the alternates.
The alternates.
Okay,
the alternate positions will step in.
Guess what? Those of you who are alternate BOD members, you're getting ready to get a call. Okay? But I hope you're happy, because this was not necessary. This was not necessary to do. He was given falsified information from people that you're supposed to be able to trust. When you go into Kingdom Office, whatever position, it doesn't matter if it's the GMR, it's the champion, it's the PM, the regent, or the monarch. You guys are supposed to be able to trust each other to run stuff. Okay? You guys are supposed to be able to trust people. And if our own monarchy can't trust each other, and our own monarchy is going to run agendas against each other, then what the fuck are we doing? Why are we playing? Because it's only a matter of time before the entire kingdom comes down. It's only a matter of time before this entire kingdom crashes. Okay? Because if our own monarchy can't find a way to work together and trust each other, then what the fuck are we... Why? What's the point? We're a disgrace. We're an absolute disgrace. Okay? We as a kingdom, if we want to succeed, and I say we because my outpost here in Mississippi that I'm making is going to be a CK outpost. Okay? And no, I don't expect the visits from Kingdom and everything else. It's not why I'm doing it. Kind of doing it to kind of point the finger in 3 directions. It's just a thing. I'm hoping what it does is incite wars between us and the other kingdoms to make things fun. Okay? But we need to figure out... We need to figure out what the hell we can do to work together to make this all work. Because right now, all we're doing is trying to stab each other in the back. This is like the worst... This is like the largest game of... What is that? Assassin? Mm-hmm. This is like the biggest game of Assassin ever involving an entire fucking kingdom. Who's in whose faction and who's killing who? Nobody knows. Everybody's got a little piece of paper with somebody's name on it. This is exactly what this looks like, and this is what the outside Amtgard world, sees. Regardless, this wasn't what the most recent conversation was about. I applaud you for stepping up and owning it, just like Crystal did a little bit ago. I don't believe that the monarch should have had to resign his position. I really don't. And it says here I got a message from somebody else. Yeah. It says, I'm watching what we call the dream, have the dream stolen from him and crushed his fire into dust. You're right. That guy's former monarch of CK. I know. I got a service award because I helped him out in a situation. Okay. Did also verify with Megiddo that Ranjora had requested the attendance information for the kingdom. Okay. Read up, Rich. Y'all are going faster than I keep up. the thing is, this has gotten ridiculous. We as an entire group, and I take part of the blame. I'll tell you right now, I take part of the blame.
Yeah.
And you know why I take part of the blame? No, you don't.
No, I was reading
Okay.
something that was on there.
I take part of the blame because I knew information about everything that was going on, and I kept it quiet. Okay, I notified people. I notified the correct people when I knew the information I knew. When I could verify it 100% factual that it was a fact. But I didn't put it out there for the entire kingdom to know. And I could have. And maybe I should have. And maybe this would have stopped. And maybe this would have stopped it. This morning alone, sitting in my garage, I actually broke down in tears because I felt that because I did not convey the information that I conveyed, okay, because I did not do more. I seriously felt like I tarnished my integrity, which means I tarnished that masterhood sitting on the wall up there. That in all honesty, that if that I proved that I thought for a moment I proved to myself I didn't earn it. Because I could have done something. Maybe I could have gone in there and done something to help fix this and keep this from happening. Maybe I should have turned around and called for Rinjara's head a long time ago. Maybe before she got knighted, I posted out this publicly so it would have stopped it. So then it would have saved our king. No, I get that, Bacon, but the thing is I sat there in my garage this morning after reading what broke through and knowing that I was going to get a bunch of phone calls over this. I started questioning myself. I started questioning on whether or not my integrity was no good anymore. And if you don't have your integrity, what do you got? You got nothing. We as a kingdom allowed this to happen. You know. No, actually, Bacon, I will say, because now I've read the rest of that, I'm perfectly fine with Rinjara stepping down. Rinjara should have stepped down the moment that she submitted the report from a banned player. That is when she violated the ROP. You know, we can't do the what if game. We can only do the what can we do now. And that's where I was going with this, Kill Mill. So what can we do to stop this from happening in the future? Is this one of those situations where actually putting together a committee to do investigations would be the right thing to do? Instead of just going off of the reports of people we think we trust, why don't we find outside? And I was telling you before, and I got sidetracked on it, I got into a lot of trouble when I was Crystal Grove's king because I went to an outside source to do an investigation for me. Mm-hmm. And I got yelled at by my board of directors. I got yelled at my board of directors for involving people that weren't involved in our kingdom, but I knew damn well I couldn't ask anybody in my kingdom and 100% thoroughly trust them. And maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe when it comes to investigations on people, because right now the kingdom is in turmoil because nobody can trust anybody, maybe we should involve outside parties to do an investigation, saying, okay, this is the report I got, go with it. Maybe Amtgard as a whole needs to take, well, we have the ombudsman, but the ombudsman will tell you that they can't do shit. Maybe the Amtgard as a whole needs an actual investigation group. I will tell you right now that if that became a thing, I would be willing to head it. Okay? Blake is willing. I'm totally down for being a part of an objective investigating. And maybe that should be something as a whole. I'm willing to head it. Okay, Ryan, that would work for some things, but some things do need to be immediately handled. Okay? In the situation, let's just use this example Me and Fister in an event. I get mad at Fister. Fister gets mad at me, and Fister hauls off and knocks my block off. Okay, yeah, I had to use some 80s terms there. Okay. Okay, but Fister hauls off and punches me in the face. Yeah, we need to immediately, unfortunately, you have to immediately remove him. Okay, but then you got to probably remove me. Okay, but here's the thing. Maybe we should turn around. Even though this whole reign, people belittled, disrespected, and rumor mongered about our family. Okay. I was not involved in any information about rumor mongering and everything else, but I'm telling you right now, if we want you in the game of Amtgard, and I tell you what, here we go. King Baggy says, can't do 30-day when the FBI wants to blame Amtgard for harboring a federal offender years ago. Oh, I remember that. I remember that, Baggy. That there's some people in this chat that they weren't even out of high school. Make sure you mention the fact that I verified when we get you the attendance records.
Yeah, told them that we already stated that.
We already did discuss that. Sorry, I just saw your text message. Okay. Yeah, that's right now. Okay. Yeah, Baggy, we're starting to show our age when we're talking about the FBI thing. You know, but like I said, you know, here's the whole deal. If Amtgard wants to, if we want to start an actual private investigation group that the kingdoms can go to, I will tell you, we can. Why don't we go ahead and we can do that. We can start rolling that in the CK and test run it, and I'm willing to head it.
I'd be more than happy to.
I'm going to tell you right now, with the amount of hatred that some people have, I would not be able to involve you.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm willing to head it. It will have, the CK can have its own internal affairs group. Exactly, Blake. When and where do we start? Fine, I'm nominating Blake as my executive senior lieutenant? It would be? I guess that would make me captain. My captain. It's very possible. Start at this reign. Talk with Jill about it. I will. In fact, as soon as I get done and Jill gets home, well, shit, I probably got to go to bed. I have to be up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work. You know, given a non-voting BOD seat. Very much so. I don't have a problem with that. Great idea. She's at a hockey game. Yeah, I'm not going to call her right now. Hey, so we want to start another group inside of your kingdom. But no, I think it'd be a good idea, and I think maybe we should test it. This needs a Kapoor approval, but that's a great idea. It doesn't necessarily need a Kapoor approval if it's a test run to see if it's even viable to work. If situation comes out that it's viable to work, then it goes into Kapoor. I know she was at a hockey game. That's why she couldn't get to watch my show. I think maybe the CK can run that, and if it becomes a successful thing, then it gets brought to clan and said, hey, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're handling our situation because we've had enough problems with this, and we've decided to start this to resolve it. And it's working great now. Mm-hmm. And we think that the game of Amtgard wide, and because, you know, Blake, why am I suddenly spacing on Blake's name? Kieran, sorry. Kieran and Yhamish are running it. You know, we think that they should be the ones to start it for the organization itself. And you know what? I'd be willing to do it.
I'll be your file jockey.
I would still have to say no.
I just hold the paperwork for you.
No. Oh. I would still have to say no. And I think that's a step in the right direction how we resolve this. One thing is I'm sorry that we ended up having to lose a monarch out of this deal. I really am. Yeah, you know what? And Blake and I miss some of the old game too. It was a whole lot simpler then. But because it's become complicated, now you need level heads. I think that would be the best way to go. I think CK could start this and test pilot it and see how it goes and then move it on. Yhamish, you're the only person to say that. I'm not the only person that said that. There's been other people that did not think that this needed to happen. I'm sorry to see that we lost a monarch out of this deal. I'm sorry to see that we lost somebody that actually wasn't intending to do harm. And the right here, right now, kind of destroyed it. That's where we're at. So, because I love this game so much, to me, it's kind of like a loss. It's like mourning a loss. You know, and it's unfortunate. You know, Watcher, Bubba, has been my friend for 21 years. Yeah, he's done some shit I disagree with. I've done some shit he disagrees with. However, we need to find a way to come together and not let this happen again. Okay? We need to find a way to come together. So everybody's watching the show tonight. Here's a task from your stepfather.
Oh, God.
Well, I can't say father. Father Tom has that.
Yeah, Father Tom does have that.
Okay. Stepdad Yhamish, I guess. Grandpa.
Stepdaddy.
You know.
Uncle Yhamish.
Uncle Yhamish.
Uncle Yhamish.
Uncle Yhamish.
There you go.
Okay. Uncle Yhamish. Let's all go out to our parks this weekend. And as soon as people start running off at the mouth about what's going on, tell them, you know what? It's done. It's over. It's in the past. Okay? It's done. It's over. It's in the past. What can we do to move forward? They go, well, I really want to talk about... Yeah, that's true. Father Tom is older than me, so I can't exactly... He's only older than me, but not by that much either.
That's how we're sticking to Uncle Yhamish.
So we're going to stick to Uncle Yhamish. That's going to stick. I know goddamn well it's going to stick. Okay, so anyway, when people try to start bringing up, but this, you know what? It's in the past. And if we're going to keep constantly dwelling in the past, that's what's going to cause even more problems in this kingdom. So let's move in. Hold on, wait a minute. Come here.
Oh, the Gibbs. No, you're supposed to do it
No,
from the back.
no, dude. Lion King.
Oh.
You're supposed to go, that hurt.
That hurt.
It doesn't matter, it's in the past.
Oh, yeah.
What was his response?
The past.
The past hurts. Say the past hurt.
The past hurts.
Oh, it does. Okay. Every once in a while, maybe, and I used to say this before, and I'll say it again. Every once in a while, maybe we need a little colorful monkey with a stick to whack people with to remind us about the things in life. Okay?
The gears are turning.
Boy doesn't know Lion King. But, okay, so maybe somebody needs to dress up as a colorful monkey and go around beating people in the head with sticks and remind them that it's in the past. No. Okay. But anyhow, you know, so that's what y'all need to do this weekend. Uncle Yhamish says, this weekend, go out, and as soon as people start running their mouth about this whole situation, shut them up. And yeah, so we need someone with a bright red ass running around the kingdom. Okay, so but we shut them up. Tell them, say, dude, it's in the past. It's done. It's over. We now need to move on. What are we going to do in the future? We're not looking at the past. Okay, and then that's where we go from there. Okay, so that being said, I've been at this for almost 2 hours with you people. I want to say, remember, don't close it. Okay. Like I want to say, I want to thank you all for being a part of this tonight, being a part of the truth that it is, that's out there, the facts. Okay. And we now need to take this kingdom and move forward. For everybody out there, I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. And being involved in the chat room. This has probably been the most interactive chat room I've ever had.
Which we had an average of about 33 viewers for this thing.
Yes. So, hey, thanks a lot, guys, for being a part of this and actually being interactive and not being at each other's throat all night. For everybody else, yes, I will. I'll go. I will, Blake, afterwards. So am I allowed back on Saturday? Yes! The Raj and Rich show will be on Saturday night. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a good night. Remember, don't do what I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave you much room for error, except it might get you banned. And stay safe out there, folks. As best as possible. We will see you later, Uncle Yhamish. Good night.